Welcome back to action from Zwartkops, the international world of motoring. And as always with Extreme Festival, action on and off the circuit all the way around the track. And lots to see and do here for the big crowds that have come out for this final round of the National Extreme Festival. We head straight into Global Touring Cars and the GTC Supacup. This championship is also up for grabs, and basically one hand on the trophy for Robert Volk. He's got to just have a clean 2 sets of races, and it's all done and dusted once again for WCT Engineering and the InvestChem team. Leighton Free still got a bit of a battle on his hands, though, with his teammate, Jeff Kruger. And a big fight expected in the GTC Super Cup category. Some new drivers joining us for the very first time, and great to have them with us, and catching up with one of the old drivers after a big incident in Cape Town. Let's find out how Donnie Finnekerk is doing.
Actually quite hard so about the whole incident and whatever. We don't have money to be here, and we had to scratch and borrow and lend and beg to be here, but now we're here, cars fixed. Everyone just threw in parts and help wherever they can, panel shop, even the guy that sprayed it and pulled the car, everyone just helped a lot. And but we're happy to be back. The car's still not 100%, but we're getting there.
Great to have him here. That's the most important thing. Michael van Rooyen doing a superb job to be on pole position. The Rustenburg Rocket and Leighton Free sharing the pole position for GTC and GTC Super Cup. I'll tell you something, there is a big battle expected here amongst those competitors. Robert Volk's got some big pressure coming his way to try and hang on for a back-to-back championship. Andrew Rackstraw, who turns 21 on Tuesday, will certainly be looking to try and spoil his day and take a victory here at some stage. Van Rooyen and Van der Walt are on the front row ahead of Liebenberg and Sauer. Robert Volk will start from 5th place, and Andrew Rackstraw will be alongside him. Ashley Oldfield debuts for the very first time in the Gazoo Racing Cup Corolla, and he'll be just ahead of Leighton Free, who's on pole position for the GTC Super Cup category. Look out for a big battle expected amongst the Masters side of things as well. Although Nick Davidson has wrapped up the title, there's still a lot up for grabs here in these last 2 races amongst those Masters. The Rustenburg Rocket will be looking to take on Van der Walt from the word go. Julian Van der Walt has been good off that front row as we get into the grips with it now. Rolling start, lights out, and we're racing down towards turn 1. And it is Van Rooyen around the outside, who looks like he might have got the whole shot. And out of shape. Oh, Van der Walt's out of shape, and he nearly takes his teammate out. Oh, Robert Volk very lucky to avoid the spinning teammate in front of him. The Ford Focus went into turn 1, out of shape. These guys are going to be in for it, that's for sure. Leighton Free around the outside of Campos. In the mid-pack, you can see JP Van der Walt trying to find a way through. And off track there for one of the Hammonds. I think there might have been Sam Hammond, who went a little bit wayward coming out of turn 2. Looks like Rackstraw's got some issues of his own as well in the Audi. He's been caught and passed now. This is Calvin Diaz's point of view as we go into turn 3. Man making his debut here in the Super Cup class, and you can see he's in amongst the usual contenders. JP Van der Walt just up the road there. Tata Carollo's in the mix as we go in, and looks like it might be his brother out of shape there on the outside. Oh, it is. Dom getting out of shape there. Big Tom having a bit of fun and games between the two of them as they head up to the top of the hill. Tata Carollo, safety car board out there, yellow flag, and the safety car has been deployed. That's due to the fact we got Van der Walt has got going again, but he was on the inside. Let's have a look at that one more time into turn 1. Van der Walt came out of turn 1. Robert Volk around his outside, and how did Volk avoid the spinning man who was in front of him? He had to go into the dirt. That's how he did it. He climbs back on track at turn 2 after avoiding exactly what happened here. Look at that. Julian Van der Walt just got a little bit out of shape and a little bit maybe hot on the right pedal there, and the back end stepped out on the Ford Focus, and he ended up in the kitty litter. Very lucky to be avoided by all of the GTC Super Cup cars that came through as well. Let's get back under racing though as the lights go out and green flags. Here we go once again. Van Rooyen pulling away from Zwartkops. And you've got Brad Liebenberg. Good start there from the Hype Energy and Team Red Racing Golf GTI. Remember, they're celebrating 40 years of GTI here at Zwartkops this weekend. And there's a whole bunch of them on track behind as well in Polo GTI Super Cups. Here they come out of turn 3. This is GTC at the front end and 4 cars fighting hard. And this is Robert Volk trying to find a way through here on the Hype Energy machine. Oh, Brad Liebenberg, can he go around the outside? He can. Easily done in the end by that Toyota Corolla. And looks like the InvestChem team doing a superb job to get Volk up to 3rd place at this point in time with the 2 Gazoo Racing Corollas up front. And the only man who can really spoil his day is in 2nd place. He's right behind him right now. So it's 2 versus 1, and they're 2 and 3 on the road at the moment. Looks like Brad Liebenberg's got a little bit of issues. Rackstraw's got through on him for the GTCs. He's up to 4th now, and Liebenberg's dropped down to 5th. There might be a little bit of a niggle there in that Hype Energy GTI of Brad Liebenberg's. He's under pressure now from Ashley Oldfield. What a debut there. The man who's won the GR Cup for the Yaris side of Toyota's entry into motorsport is now in the mix. And speaking of in the mix, this is Keegan Campos' point of view from the GTC Super Cup category, closing down on Leighton Free, or trying to. Leighton Free at the front end doing everything he needs to do right here to win the championship overall for the GTC Super Cup. He'll be the youngest driver to win that ever if he can stay where he is right now. Back to the fight here between the GTCs. And it's once again Liebenberg versus Rackstraw versus Oldfield. Oldfield for the very first time in amongst the usual contenders in GTCs, and that's not a small feat to be in. If you can run with Brad Liebenberg in GTCs, you must know what you're doing in a race car, and Oldfield's certainly loving life at the moment. There you can see behind Leighton Free, they line up in the form of Campos. Then you've got Arnie Neveling, Mochotsi, and then only Jeff Kruger. Jeff Kruger all on his own, some there in about 5th or 6th place at this stage. That's not where he needs to be if he wants to take the fight for this championship to Leighton Free. Master side of things, Schneider's fighting with Davidson right at the back, Campos just ahead of them. So Roy Campos, Schneider's, Donnie van Niekerk, and they're all having a bit of a fight there when it comes to the Masters side of it. This is Tata Corello coming out of turn number 5 into 6, closing down on JP van der Walt there in the wheelie.co.za and Platinum Wheels car. In the pit lane, it's Van der Walt. He's got some problems, whatever the issues were in that car. And speaking of problems, oh, that's not a happy Brad Liebenberg, that is for sure. Parked in the Park Vermeer area, and you can see he's not happy about that, having to come into Park Vermeer a lot earlier than expected there for the Hype Energy machine. So that's Brad Liebenberg out. Back into the hunt here for 2nd place and 3rd place. This is the 2nd and 3rd place battle now. As you can see, a little bit of maneuvering here from the Paget car, and Arnie Neveling trying to close down on Campos. He's bringing Mochotsi along for the ride in the Sonax machine, but not quite close enough just yet. Speaking of close, here is the battle for the championship. Robert Volk tucked in behind Variawa. That's exactly where he needs to be. And if he stays where he is right now, that championship is his. Sawud Variawa, despite all of his intentions and the aspirations he had of winning his first title in GTCs, he's not giving it up without a fight though. He goes defensive into GNH Transport corner. Great bit of driving there from the youngster to keep out the man who would look for back-to-back titles. And with that 3rd place, he's going to get it. Van Rooyen's going to get the victory. Variawa in 2nd. And that 3rd spot for Robert Volk will secure him the 2022 GTC Championship. And now for Super Cups, Leighton Free comes to the line. He's going to take the victory. He's going to be ahead of Arnie Neveling Mochotsi, and his closest rival, Jeff Kruger, will finish in 4th place. So that'll be enough for Leighton Free to wrap up the 2022 title and get the 2nd last victory of the season. Checkered flag is out. Let's have a look at the results as they came through. Michael van Rooyen taking the victory over Sawud Variawa. Robert Volk in 3rd will secure the championship ahead of Rackstraw and Ashley Oldfield. Leighton Free wins the championship and wins the race ahead of Arnie Neveling, Mochotsi, Kruger, and Campos. JP van der Walt had a fantastic battle with Tata Corello and Dominic and Calvin Diaz. Nathan Hammond came through as well. Great driving from him. And Roy Campos looks like he secured the win in the Masters. Robert Volk makes it back-to-back victories for GTC.
Start didn't go according to plan. I mean, Julian spun and came back in my path, so I had to take a bit of an evasive action off-road, almost hit the wall. So yeah, a little bit of a narrow escape, but thankfully we managed to keep it in one piece. Had good race pace, which considering yesterday and this morning, we certainly didn't have. So yeah, it's just a fantastic result, and we have a bit of fun in the 2nd race. We don't have to worry about the championship, so we can give it our all.
There's a happy man. Leighton Free wraps up the 2022 GTC Super Cup Championship.
No, Ricky, I take advantage of Ricky apparently, but I mean, just such a big thank you to the team first of all. I mean, those are the guys that bring me that car, so I can't do it without them. And a lot of respect to Jeff throughout the whole year. I mean, I think we touched maybe 3 times in 20-something races, so it's just amazing feeling. And yeah, congrats to Jeff. He put a lot of pressure on me the whole year, and I know we can go have fun in race 2.
Welcome back to Zwartkops, the final round of the Extreme Festival, the final race now of the 2022 Global Touring Cars and GTC Super Cup Championship. The championships are done and dusted, as you've just seen, so it's every man and girl for himself out there. Let's see what's going to happen and how much fun they're going to have, because according to Robert Volk, they can now have a lot more fun because there's no pressure on anybody out there. Michael van Rooyen will be looking to come from the back on the reverse grid and see if he can make it 2 victories out of 2 starts. That's exactly what his plans were at the start of the day. And you can see the heat has picked up here pretty dramatically, and so has the wind. So a little bit of a different scenario out there for these GTC and Super Cup contenders. Race face on there for Jason. Let's see what Jason Campos can do as they roll out now for the final time in 2022. Brad Liebenberg's car has been sorted out by Universal Motorsport. Let's see what he can do. Possibly give GTI a victory here on their celebration of 40 years of the GTI Volkswagen brand. Rackstraw wants an early birthday present. He starts from the front row alongside Ashley Oldfield, who's been gifted an opportunity of note. He didn't expect to be on pole position in his very first time out in GTCs, but that's where he is, and he heads down into turn 1. Looks like he might have actually got the whole shot. Variawa dives on his inside. Brad Liebenberg comes along for the ride, tucked in behind Variawa, and squeezes Rackstraw out there as they go towards turn 3. He might try to go around the outside of turn 2 as they go in there. Good start as well from the GTC Super Cup category as they go flying through turn 1. Everybody trying to find an opportunity to be at the front end, and it looks like it's going to be Campos who leads out. Yes, chasing Campos. Oh, Van der Walt gets sent wide. Wheelie.co today and Platinum Wheels car from Team Red Racing gets sent into the kiddie litter. Oldfield hangs on. Can you believe that? Ashley Oldfield has hung on for 4 corners here at Zwartkops from his pole position, and he's got Brad Liebenberg, multiple champion, on his tail, looking for a way through. Your newly crowned champion, we're on board with him, heading up towards the back end of his teammate. Julian van der Walt has got some pressure coming from Robert Valk. Looks like Liebenberg's at the front. No, he hasn't. He's still behind Oldfield. Wow, what has Ashley Oldfield had for breakfast? Something went right at Gazoo Racing for him, that is for sure. And he's managed to keep them out for an entire lap. That is a superb effort from the man who's just won the GR Cup and stepped up into GTCs for the very first time. Michael van Rooyen's got some pressure from Robert Valk. He's had that all season long. He'll be used to that as they head across the line and complete the first lap in anger. Speaking of laps in anger, Mokhotzi's at the front end of the GTC Super Cup at this stage, and he's fighting hard there. Where has Campos gone? In fact, we just missed Campos. Campos has gone just slightly ahead there, and we're on board with his brother Keegan, who ran a little bit wide and onto the dirty stuff, coming out of G&H Transport corner. He tries to close down there on Leighton Free. As you can see, just up the road there is the newly crowned champion, looking for a way through and trying to find a gap if he can find one. He'll force his way in there, and he does. He forces his way on the inside of Arnie Neveling. Neveling gives him a little bit of room to play, and just able to survive that one. Here comes Liebenberg. He's had enough now. Can he find a way through on Oldfield at the front end of the GTC category? Big fight between these two at this stage. And can you believe that? Ashley Oldfield has kept them out for 2 laps. This is a man who doesn't make a living racing motorcars. He makes a living speaking about and writing about motorcars. And he's done such an incredible job here to keep out the usual contenders in global touring cars. And in the background, looks like the usual contenders have come together. Van Rooyen might have spun out there by the looks of it. So Michael van Rooyen might have got involved in that incident. I'm not quite sure it was Van Rooyen or it was Variawa. Confirmation is definitely Van Rooyen. And here comes the rest of the pack of the Global Touring Car Super Cup cars to avoid the spinning Corolla. So Van Rooyen's going to be in the mix here amongst the usual boys and girls at the front end of this Global Touring Car Super Cup class. That I can tell you is not going to be an easy thing to get through. The rest of them come through there. Back of the pack, you can see the Masters all fighting hard and still continuing to fight it out there for the Masters category will be Roy Campos and Sam Hammond. Campos a little bit further up the road there, as you can see. He's got Corello on his tail. Tata Corello's good friend looking for a way through. Has he been able to find it? No, not just yet. So it's Campos versus Corello as they come onto that back straightaway. This is the leader though, Jason Campos, opening up a big margin over Jonathan Mokhotzi, Jeff Kruger. Then it's Daniel Rowe ahead of the hard charge coming from Stradale Motorsports, Arnie Neveling. But at this point in time, the champion is just sitting pretty and looking to finish up the season without any damage to that car, I think. Leighton Free's done all the hard work. He can now just enjoy the spoils. Daniel Rowe starting to smoke up there for Team Perfect Circle. Looks like he's pushing those cars a little bit harder at this stage with the pressure being applied. This is Dominic Diaz's point of view as he comes up and is overtaken just through there by the 29 car of Roy Campos. Oh, a couple more cars going along for the ride as well. Looks like, oh, and there's a tag from the back. Was that from his brother? I think it was. I think the 2 Diaz boys came together there. Yes, Donnie Vanica had to try and avoid the 2 of them. But definitely a tag there between the 2 Diaz boys as they went up into turn 5 and 6. Jeff Kruger in the GTC Super Cup with a little bit of battle scar of his own there. Looks like he might have come together with somebody as well. Has he been able to squeeze through there and get past? I think he may have. Yes, he has. He's got through and he's found a way past, and he's now trying to close down on Mokhotzi in the Sonex car. So it's Campos out front for turn 1. Then it's the Sonex car of Mokhotzi. Team Red Racing's Jeff Kruger. Team Perfect Circles, Daniel Rowe. Stradale Motorsport and Paget Racing is Arnie Neveling, and we follow him through turn 4, heading up towards turn 5. He's got Keegan Campos on his tail for Campos Transport. We go on board here with Keegs as they head into the braking point up towards that very, very tricky turn 5 corner. Got to get it right. You can see a lot of guys locking up there. Daniel Rowe's locked up there on a few occasions. Looks like he's getting a bit more pressure though, as you can see from Arnie Neveling. The front end though, his brother Jason is doing the job to perfection, getting away from Mokhotzi and from Kruger. As they come into braking, Daniel Rowe hangs on for now, keeping out the Stradale car. This is a bit further back, or in fact a little bit further up the road I should say. This is Valk. We're on board here with Robert Valk, newly crowned champion, trying to find a way through on Julian van der Walt. And then just up the road is his arch rival in this championship, Saud Variawa. They're not going to catch Brad Liebenberg. whatever Team Red have done for this car, it's sorted it out. But right in the closing stages of the championship, can you believe it? He takes the victory and gives GTI a victory on the day they celebrate 40 years of that Volkswagen brand. That's exactly what Volkswagen Motorsport would have wanted. And they're going to be giving their hats off there to Team Red Racing for that victory. Back to the battle here in the Global Touring Car Super Cup class. And as they come across the line, you can see just coming through there a huge fight between Campos and Carello. And Campos will win out the Masters category for GTC Super Cup. Another fantastic finish there for that team. Certainly looking forward to the three Campos boys being at it once again in 2023. Liebenberg taking the victory over Variawa and Julian van der Walt, with Volk and Rackstraw ahead of Ashley Oldfield. Jason Campos will win out GTC Super Cup ahead of Machotzi and Jeff Kruger. And Daniel Rowe down in 4th place for Team Perfect Circle. Leighton Free only finished up in 13th overall, but he'd wrapped up the championship. He didn't need to worry. He finished up ahead of Nathan Hammond, and as we said, Campos taking the Masters. There's a happier Brad Liebenberg. Let's find out how his race went in the final one.
It's a bit bittersweet after the year that we've had, but it's a testament to the effort that the team's put in today. Not only today, obviously the entire season. But yeah, like I said, it's a bit bittersweet. But I think there's no better way to end off a season with a win, and yeah, we'll see what next year holds, and yeah, celebrate tonight.
If you have a baby, you get a victory. That's what happens in the Campos family. Well done to Jason.
Of the weekend we had, what a result. Honestly, I could not expect what we've got today, but sure, well, we take it. Fastest lap, we were super fast, we seem to have it there, so super chuffed with this result. You have no idea. I actually don't even have words right now.
Robert Volk wraps up back-to-back titles for GDCs, and he wins out over Variawa, Michael van Rooyen, Brad Liebenberg, Julian van der Walt, Andrew Rackstraw, and Mandla Ndakani. In the GDC Super Cup category, Leighton Fourie eventually finished up at the top end, as we saw, ahead of Jeff Kruger, his teammate. Keegan Campos and Keegan Masters there for 3 and 4. And Arnie Neerling makes up the top 5. Join us after the break for more action here from Zwartkops.